Good morning, 7th graders, and welcome to the intro and conclusion for the persuasive paper. Once you've made these outlines, you're going to be all ready to begin the writing, which will begin when we come back from Easter break. So once you make these outlines, and I suggest you make them as we go, you should just tuck them away in your folder. Hopefully you have a little folder. If you take a picture of that little folder and send it to me, you will get some extra credit points on your paper. So feel free to do that. Just take a picture and send it in a text, 301-788-5457, or you can just email it to me. So for those of you who have phones, it should be pretty easy. I want you to stay organized, so that's why I keep driving that point home. So what we're going to do today is the introduction and conclusion paragraphs, and these are probably, at least the conclusion, is more important than any of the other essays that we've done. So it's where you state your opinion, it's where you try to make your final case. The intro paragraph for persuasive is of normal importance. So we're going to start with that one, and it is going to be the intro in the introduction. And remember, we're talking about so I'm going to scroll down here. We are talking about the introducing this whole thing, then we state the topics, and then we transition in. So if you read my beach versus mountains, or if you consider dogs versus cats, whatever, you have to think of a way to start your paragraph, your intro paragraph. You can do this by stating a fact, you can do it by asking a question, and when I began the beach versus mountains, I began it as tired homeschooling families often, and this is paraphrased, often have a dilemma in front of them once the summer comes. They must decide where they want to go on vacation. You shouldn't start it by saying there are 2 restaurants in town and you have to decide which one you want to go to. Instead, you need to make it a little bit more interesting. So we can use that word dilemma. We have a dilemma, or we have a family battle. We have a family decision that we need to make. Where are we going to eat dinner? Perhaps lunch, or even breakfast. Perhaps it's their breakfast foods that you want to compare. So you can begin it by, have you ever had a dilemma on where to eat when McDonald's and Chick-fil-A are the 2 restaurants that surround your house? And so you begin it with, like I said, either some statement or some question. You could also throw a statistic in here. You could say that, are you aware that over 50% of the American population eats out every night? I don't know if that's true, but you could do some sort of statistic there. I always like a second sentence to help support. So you could say the family argues over best restaurant. Or in an age where there are 50 restaurants around the corner, the family can't decide. So 1 or 2 sentences that really highlight your topic, give a statistic, give some interesting information. Then you want to transition to the, I should see this word logical or systematic discussion or conversation. So you want to transition to something like the family might turn to a logical conversation where they examine both restaurants carefully. So you should do something like that in sentence 3 or 4. But then by sentence 4, you should be presenting your 3 topics of consideration: the location and the restaurant availability, the menu, and the customer service cleanliness of the restaurant. Those are our 3 topics. We've worked through those and we want to put them here. Now, you can always put a little personal story in your intro or conclusion. So you could say something like, our family once had to make this decision, and we considered the health needs of our family. So there are many topics that you could use to help you. So you may want to, put a little personal story. That could even come up here. It could come down where I've put it, or, someplace else that you feel like it fits better. And then finally, kind of a wrapping it up sentence in the introduction. We want to help the family make the best choice or make the best decision for everyone in the family. And then you move on to your 3 paragraph topics. And you would make some sort of transition, like as you get to the first paragraph topic, you would want to say, first, the family must consider how available the restaurant is. So you make a transition between those 2 paragraphs. All right, let's move down to our conclusion paragraph, and we want to take a look at this like I've said, it's the most important. So we want to make sure that we really kind of give our last full force persuasive piece here. So first, we are going to restate that we've got some sort of dilemma or decision or family making process that we've got to work through. So you would transition into the paragraph by saying something like, as stated earlier in the paper, there is a huge decision that is haunting our family. And then you would go into perhaps another statistic. You could give the family story here, whatever. But then very quickly you want to reiterate the topics or restate the topics. Just as a reminder that the 3 points of consideration for our family were the location, the menu, the customer service. So all 3 of those things happen very early in the conclusion paragraph. And this is when I would definitely, if you haven't already shared a story, or perhaps a story of another friend's, or perhaps a commercial that you've seen that drives this point home, you want to drive it home that our family had this dilemma and we very carefully considered all of the reasons why we should go to Chick-fil-A or McDonald's. But by the 4th and 5th sentences, you definitely want to state your opinion. And you would share, our family decided that we should go to Chick-fil-A because it has more chicken options, which is a favorite of our family. It also has a store very close to our house, and even though that's not the case for everyone, it is close to our house. And finally, we find the workers there to be so friendly, and it just makes us feel really important when they take the time to talk to us. So state your favorite place and why. So this is where you would then be able to draw on some of these other things in the why. And then you can finish it up with a nice bow on the package. Something like, as you can see, the obvious place for most families to go to would be Chick-fil-A. They have superior food and superior customer service, making them the best restaurant possible. So again, do not state your opinion in any of the earlier paragraphs. If you do that, I'm going to send the paper back to you. But definitely state it by the end of that conclusion paragraph. We've got to know which one you believe in. So there you have it. That's the intro and the conclusion paragraphs. You either can write your own, remember your own topic. Perhaps you have something else you're arguing, or you can use something similar to my outline, but put your own points, your own family stories, that kind of thing. So I hope this has helped. And when we come back from Easter, we will be writing our paragraphs. So make sure you put this in a place where you won't lose it. And I hope you have a wonderful Easter break. Bye.